Title: Don't Kill Me Human, I'll Warm Your Bed. The war was over. The sky above the alien planet was dark, filled with broken ships and smoke. The ground was cold and wet. The final battle between Earth's forces and the alien race called the Zarians had ended only a day ago. Commander Riker, a human soldier, walked through the battlefield. His boots stepped over bodies, some human, some alien. His face was cold, hard. He had seen too much death. "Clear the area," said the voice on his radio. "Shoot any alien survivors." Riker didn't reply. He just walked into the ruined base. Black walls, strange lights, and blood. Inside the base, there was silence. He moved slowly, holding his gun, watching every corner. Suddenly, a sound, soft breathing. He turned fast. Gun pointed, and there she was, an alien female. A Zarian warrior sat on her knees. Her armor was broken, blood on her face. Her blue skin looked pale. Her long silver hair was wet and dirty. She was trembling. Riker stepped closer, gun aimed at her head. But then she looked up at him. Her eyes were full of fear, not hate, not anger, just fear. And then she spoke, voice soft, shaking. "Please, don't kill me, human. I'll warm your bed." Riker blinked. What did she say? He had heard aliens scream, roar, curse, but this. She wasn't begging for life like a coward. She said it like it was the only way to survive. He didn't lower his weapon. "Stand up," he said. She tried, but fell. Her leg was injured. She coughed, holding her ribs. "I have no weapon," she said. "I'm not your enemy. All Zarians are enemies," Riker said. She looked at him. "Not all. Some of us didn't want this war." Riker didn't trust her. Maybe it was a trick. Maybe she was buying time. Still, something in her voice felt real. He moved closer. "What's your name, Kylara?" she whispered. Her eyes met his. "What's yours?" He didn't answer. Riker checked the room. There were no other survivors. Just her, alone, broken. He pressed the radio button on his suit area. "Clear," he said. "No survivors." The voice asked. Riker looked at Kylara. She was still on her knees, staring at the ground. He waited, then replied, "No, no survivors." He turned off the radio. Kylara looked up, her eyes wide. Why didn't you kill me?" Riker didn't answer. He didn't know. He had killed many Zarians, big ones, strong ones, proud warriors. But this one, something was different. Maybe it was her eyes. Maybe he was tired of killing. Maybe he was just human. He walked closer and pulled a small medical kit from his belt. She flinched, thinking he would hit her. "I'm not going to hurt you," he said. She relaxed a little. He wrapped her leg with bandages, silent. His hands were rough, but careful. "Why did you say that?" he asked. "Warm my bed." She looked away. "I thought, maybe if you think I'm useful, you won't kill me." He looked at her. "That's not how humans work." She smiled. A sad, weak smile. "It is how many aliens think humans work." Riker sat down across from her. For a moment there was silence. Then Kylara spoke again. "You think this war is over, but it's not." Riker frowned. "We destroyed your fleets, took your cities. Your leaders are dead." Kylara shook her head. "You don't understand. The ones who started the war, they were not the strongest. The old ones are still sleeping. If they wake, both of us are in danger." Riker stared at her. "Are you trying to scare me?" "No," she said. "I'm trying to warn you." Before he could speak, his radio crackled again. "Commander Riker, report back. The transport ship leaves in 15 minutes. Riker stood up. Kylara looked at him, worried. "What will you do with me?" He looked down at her. Then he took off his coat and wrapped it around her. "You're coming with me." Her eyes widened. "Why?" "Because I need answers," Riker said. "And maybe you're not my enemy after all." He helped her stand, putting her arm over his shoulder. Outside, the cold wind howled. Riker walked carefully, hiding her in the shadows. No one saw them. No one knew. The war had ended. Title: The alien in his room. Space was quiet now. Commander Riker's ship floated through the black void, heading back to Earth. Inside, lights hummed softly. Soldiers slept. The war was won. Everyone thought it was over, but Riker had a secret. He walked down the narrow hallway of the ship, silent and tense. Inside his private room, behind a locked door, sat Kylara, the alien woman he should have killed. She sat on the floor, her back against the wall, wearing a human soldier's coat. Her hands were tied, but her eyes were calm now. She wasn't afraid. Not anymore. Riker entered and locked the door behind him. They stared at each other. No words, just silence. Then she said, "So this is how humans treat guests." Riker sat on a metal chair. "You're not a guest, you're a prisoner." Kylara tilted her head then. "Why am I still alive?" Riker didn't answer. She looked around. Strange room, cold, empty. "Is this how you live?" He shrugged. "I'm a soldier. I don't need comfort." She smiled slightly. "You don't even have a window." "I don't like looking outside." Kylara leaned forward. "You're afraid of the stars." "No," Riker said quietly. "I'm afraid of what comes from them." Flashback begins. 2-3 days ago, a quick flashback showed Riker during the battle, covered in blood, dragging a wounded soldier, watching a Zarian war beast crush 5 men in 1 second. Screams, fire, death. Back in the present, Riker wiped his face. You don't belong here, he said. Kylara whispered. Neither do you. Strange dreams begin that night. Riker slept in the corner of the room, one eye always half open, but then something strange happened. He dreamed of Kylara, but not as a prisoner. In the dream, she stood in a glowing room filled with light, touching a screen with alien symbols. Behind her were massive towers, full of green energy. She turned and whispered, they're not dead. They're waiting. If you don't stop them, your world will burn. Riker woke up sweating. Kylara was still there, eyes closed. But Riker could swear she had spoken to him in his dream. Morning interrogation the next morning. Riker began asking questions. Who were the Zarians fighting for? Kylara replied, not for Earth, not even for ourselves. The war was controlled by something older, something deep beneath our home planet, something we couldn't stop. Riker raised an eyebrow. You mean you were scared of your own people? She nodded. The Zarian highborns. They wanted the war. They wanted to destroy Earth before Earth evolved too fast. Riker crossed his arms. You expect me to believe aliens feared humans? Kylara looked at him seriously. Not humans. Your minds, your fire, your instinct to survive no matter the cost. That terrifies the galaxy. Riker went quiet. Secret mission incoming. Instantly, a beep on his communicator. Commander Riker, Earth Command, requests your presence. Debriefing in 6 hours. He nodded, then looked back at Kylara. She sat still, but something felt different. He asked, what are you not telling me? Kylara took a deep breath. If Earth keeps pushing, they will awaken the Zarian Vault. If that happens, even I won't be able to help you. Riker stepped forward. What is the vault? She whispered. A prison, and a god, and a grave, all at once. Cliffhanger. Endrika stood there, silent. His ship was just hours from Earth, but in his mind, a storm was growing. He had a secret alien in his room. She spoke of gods and vaults. She had warned him. But the real question was, had he just brought something worse than war back to Earth? Title: The Alien Among Us. The ship landed on Earth. Lights flashed, alarms beeped. Soldiers walked in tight lines, proud, serious. The war was over and the heroes were returning home, but Commander Riker did not feel like a hero. He walked down the metal ramp slowly, carrying a black box in one hand, standard military gear. No one knew what was really inside. An alien, hidden in plain sight. Kale (error). She was weak, pale, and still recovering. Riker had dressed her in a tech repair suit, something loose, something ordinary. A helmet covered her face. She moved with him, silently like a ghost. The base scanned their IDs. No questions asked. She had passed as human, but the danger was not outside. It was inside. The base felt different. The Earth's military base didn't feel like home anymore. Everything was quieter, tighter. Cameras were everywhere. New security systems had been added. The war was over, but the soldiers were more paranoid than ever. A voice on the speaker said, report any strange behavior. Alien agents may still be hiding among us. Riker's hands tightened. Kylara stood behind him, head down, helmet on. She whispered through the voice link, your people, they're scared. Riker whispered back, they should be a dangerous room. Night, in the barracks, whispers started. Someone saw an alien on the landing deck. A Zarian still alive. Commander Riker's acting strange. Riker sat alone in the dining hall, not eating. He could feel the eyes. His squad looked at him differently now, like they didn't know him anymore. One soldier leaned in. Sir, is it true? Did you bring something back? Riker didn't answer, but silence was its own kind of answer. Kylara's condition worsens in Riker's private quarters. Kylara sat on the floor, back against the wall, breathing heavily. Earth's air was thick for her lungs. The gravity was heavy. Her body was breaking down slowly. I can't stay here long, she whispered. Riker stood at the window watching the stars. Then tell me what I need to know. Help me understand what's coming. Kyla looked up. You still don't get it, do you? She said. This base, this planet. You think the war is over, but one of your own people has already made contact with the vault. Riker turned, shocked. What? The reveal. A traitor in common. Kyla's voice was weak but clear. Before I was captured, I heard something. A signal. A message. From your side. One of your leaders was trying to use the vault as a weapon. Riker's mind raced. Earth had a traitor. Someone high up in command. You're lying, he said. Kylara shook her head. Search your files. Look at Project Exile. Riker froze. Project Exile. He had heard the name once. Classified off-limits. Breach. Alarm. Suddenly alarms blinked. Red lights flashed. Breach detected. Section 9. Riker grabbed his gun and ran. Section 9 was close, near the tech labs. As he turned the corner, he saw it. A human guard. Stabbed through the chest. Blood on the wall. And something crawling through the air vents fast. Silent. And definitely not human. An infiltrator. A Zarian beast. Hiding in human skin. Kylara under suspicion. Later that night, the body was found. Command was furious. A Zarian on base after the war. A secret investigation began, and Riker was questioned. Where were you during the breach? Have you had any unusual contact? Are you hiding anything? Riker lied. But the pressure was growing. Final scene. The warning back in his room. Riker sat beside Kylara. She looked at him, her skin even paler now. If they find me, they'll kill me, she said softly. Riker nodded. I know, but if you don't listen to me, they'll kill all of you. Her eyes locked on his. There's a monster waking up under your feet, and your people are feeding it without knowing. Riker's hand shook slightly. Outside his door. Footsteps. Voices. Someone was coming. Cliffhanger ending line. Riker looked at the door, then at Kylara, then reached for his gun. If they open that door, we both die. Asterisk title. Trust no one. The door opened. Riker stood frozen. Kylara sat behind him, silent, hidden in the shadows. A soldier walked in, not just any soldier. Lieutenant Miles, Riker's oldest friend, his war brother. Miles raised an eyebrow. Why is your door locked? Riker replied calmly. I was sleeping. Miles stared at him. Something in his eyes was cold, calculating. Then he smiled. Command wants you now. Riker nodded, hiding his tension as he left the room. Kylara whispered through the hidden cum. He knows the interrogation in the main control center. Riker was led into a dark room. One table, one chair, one man waiting inside. General Harlan. Old, sharp-eyed and dangerous commander. Riker, the general said slowly. You were in Sector 9 during the breach. You were also late to report. After landing, your files show some odd activity. Riker sat. I did my job. I followed orders. Harlan leaned forward. Tell me the truth. Did you bring back anything from that alien planet? A long silence. Riker looked at him and lied. No, sir. Meanwhile, Kylara trapped back in Riker's room. Kylara stared at the monitor. The screen flashed red. Someone had hacked the system. The door lock clicked open by remote access. Her heart pounded. She grabbed the plasma knife Riker had left behind. The door opened. Two soldiers walked in, armed. They stopped when they saw her. One whispered, Is that really her? Kylara didn't wait. She moved fast, stabbed the light through the chair, ran into the hallway. Alarms blared. Intruder, alert, alien life form confirmed. The chase begins. Riker heard the alarm. Mid-interrogation. He stood up. What's going on? A voice on the comm shouted. Zarian spotted inside the base, moving toward the east exit. General Harlan's eyes narrowed. What did you bring back, Commander? Riker didn't answer. He ran hallways of fire. Kylara sprinted through the cold metal corridors, breathing hard. Security drones flew overhead, ducked behind a pillar. Her legs were weak, vision blurry. Then footsteps. Riker turned the corner, saw her. His eyes widened. She almost collapsed in front of him. You lied to them, she said. He nodded. I had to. She looked at him, tears in her eyes. You said I was safe. Captured before Riker could answer. Stun guns fired. Blue energy struck Kylara. She fell, screaming in pain. Soldiers surrounded them. Riker stood in shock as they pointed weapons at him. Stand down, Commander Miles said coldly. You're under arrest. Betrayed by his own inside a cold detention room, Riker sat in cuffs. Miles stood across from him. You lied to all of us, he said. You protected a monster. She's not a monster, Riker growled. She tried to stop the war. Miles shook his head. You've gone soft. No, Riker said. I've seen the truth. The real monsters sit in your command rooms. Miles laughed. And you think anyone will believe you? Riker looked up. They will, when they see what's coming. The vault is opening in a hidden lab deep beneath the base. Kylara was strapped to a table, her eyes opened. Slowly. She saw wires, needles, screens flashing alien symbols. A voice spoke in the dark. She's the last of her kind. Let's begin the extraction. Cliffhanger ending. The whisper back in the cell. Riker stared at the wall, bleeding, angry, alone. Then, his communicator, which should have been shut down, flickered once. Kylara's voice, weak and distant, came through. They found the vault. It's awake. Riker, if they open it, Earth is next. The line went dead. Final line. Riker looked up, fire in his eyes. I have to get out. I have to save her, and stop them before it's too late. Title, Wanted by Earth, Hunted by Aliens. The prison lights flickered. Riker sat alone in a steel cell. Blood dried on his jaw. His wrists were bruised from the cuffs. His mind raced, not with fear, but with rage. Outside the thick glass door, two armed guards watched him. Machines scanned his heartbeat every 10 seconds. But Riker was not planning to stay here, not anymore. Flashback. The message Eklar's voice still echoed in his mind. They found the vault. It's awake if they open it. Earth is next. He didn't know how she had broken through the calm silence, but that whisper was enough. He had to move. Unexpected help. 3 hours later, the lights went dark for exactly 12 seconds. When they came back on, one of the guards was gone. The other guard was lying on the floor, dead. The door slid open. A voice whispered from the shadows. Still owe you, Commander. Come with me. It was Sergeant Lyra, Riker's old comrade from the Siege of Mars. She had vanished a year ago, declared missing. I heard what they did to her, Lyra said, handing him a pulse pistol. I'm not letting Earth turn into the monsters we fought against. Riker took the gun. Where is she? Lyra nodded. They moved her to the underground lab, level 13. The vault's power is reacting to her. They're using her like a key. The secret lab deep under the base. Machines hummed with strange alien energy. Kylara lay strapped to a cold metal platform, weak, pale, almost unconscious. Her veins glowed with soft blue light. A man in a white coat stood beside her. Dr. Vex, human scientist, cold, brilliant, and dangerous. He tapped a screen. She's sinking. The vault will open in 24 hours. Behind him stood General Harlan. He smiled. Then we won't need diplomacy anymore. Earth will have a weapon the galaxy fears. Kylara opened her mouth, whispering, "You don't understand what you're waking up, .. Harlan laughed. "I don't care." The escape begins. Lyra led Riker through a vent shaft, then into the service tunnels. They passed old war banners, broken robots, and sealed chambers. Alarms hadn't been triggered yet. "You sure you can fly out of here?" Riker asked. Lyra smirked. "Still got my old bird. Hidden off-grid, EMP shielded. We just have to survive long enough to reach it." Suddenly, sirens blared. "Cell breach detected. Commander Riker has escaped. Use lethal force." Gunfire and fire doors. Security bots rolled into the tunnels. Lyra and Riker fought back, lasers flying, metal exploding, smoke everywhere. Riker took a hit to the arm but kept going. "We're out of time." "Then we go loud," Lyra said, setting a plasma charge on the door to level 13. Boom. Smoke filled the hall, and they ran in, rescuing Keller inside the lab. Doctor screamed. Riker shot out the lights, disabling the controls. Lyra rushed to Kylara, cutting the straps. Her skin burned with heat, glowing from the vault's influence. "I can feel it," she whispered. "It's alive. It's angry." Riker pulled her up. "We're getting you out right now." The vault reacts, but as they moved toward the exit, the base began to shake. A voice echoed through the speakers, deep. "Ancient, not human. You come with fear. You leave with fire." Kylara screamed, her eyes glowing bright blue. And from somewhere deep below, something woke up. Final scene. Running for the sky, Riker, Kylara, and Lyra raced through the outer hangar. Sirens howled. Troops fired. From towers. Then, through smoke and dust, Lyra's ship appeared. Old, scratched, but still flying. They climbed in. Lasers hit the wings. "Go!" Riker shouted. The ship lifted off. Behind them, the base exploded in a flash of blue light. But it wasn't a bomb. It was the vault. Opening cliffhanger line. Kylara collapsed in Riker's arms, her final words before fainting. "We didn't stop it. We only set it free." Title: We were never the good guys. The sky above Earth was no longer calm. Strange energy waves pulsed across the clouds, invisible to the public, but picked up by every military radar on the planet inside. A small, stolen ship, flying through low orbit. Commander Riker held Kylara in his arms. She wasn't speaking. Her skin flickered between blue and white light. Her body burned with something ancient. Something inside her had awakened. "Her vitals are unstable," Lyra said, piloting the ship. "She needs medical help. Fast." "We can't go to a hospital," Riker replied. "They'll capture her again. We need answers, and we need to disappear. Kylara wakes up somewhere over the ocean." Kylara opened her eyes. Her voice was weak. "You need to see it." Riker leaned closer. "See what my memories. The truth about Earth. About the vault. About the war." Riker hesitated, then slowly Kylara reached up, her glowing hand touching his forehead. Flash memory transfer. The real history subdued. Riker's vision filled with light. He saw the past, not from Earth's point of view but from hers. He saw Zarian cities long before the war, peaceful, full of science, nature, energy. Then a human ship crashed into Zarian space, not a scout, a weapon. Earth's early generals wanted expansion. They feared alien power, so they attacked first, a preemptive strike, then blamed the aliens. He saw human scientists opening the vault decades ago, using stolen Zarian tech. And then he saw something worse. The vault wasn't a weapon. It was a prison. And now it was opening. Riker reacts. He gasped, falling back. Sweat poured from his face. "Everything I believed was a lie." Kylara looked at him. "The Zarians didn't start the war. You did." Riker shook his head slowly. "And we painted ourselves as heroes." She nodded. "The vault is alive now because of your people, and it remembers everything." Meanwhile, Earth responds in a dark military war room. General Harlan stood before a glowing red map. "Commander Riker has gone rogue," he said, "and the alien female has made contact with something inside the vault." Another officer leaned forward. "What do we do, sir?" Harlan answered coldly. "We erase them. All of them. The escape plan grows bigger back on the ship." Riker stood at the window, watching the clouds shift unnaturally. Kylara was stronger now, sitting upright. "There's only one place left," she said. "The last Zarian beacon. It's hidden on one of Jupiter's moons. My people left it there in case this ever happened." Riker turned to Lyra. "Can your ship make that jump?" Lyra smirked. "If it doesn't kill us first." Riker turned back to Kylara. "What's on that moon?" Kylara looked up, and for the first time Riker saw fear in her eyes. The truth about what lives inside the vault, and how to stop it before it consumes Earth. Cliffhanger ending. As they prepared the jump toward Jupiter, a transmission came through, encrypted. It was from Earth. A voice Riker recognized. "Lieutenant Miles Riker. They've activated Project Exile. A planet-wide lockdown has begun. They're hunting you." and something's wrong with the sky. It's changing. Static. The line cut. Then outside the ship's window space twisted. A black wave moved across the stars like liquid shadow. Kylara whispered, "It's already started." Final line. And in that moment, Riker understood. They weren't running anymore. They were racing against the end of the world. Title: She was never the enemy. Space bent around the ship. The stars turned into white streaks as Riker, Kylara and Lyra flew at lightspeed heading toward Europa, Jupiter's icy moon. They weren't escaping anymore. They were going to finish this. The calm before the storm inside the ship. Kylara sat alone by the rear window. Her reflection in the glass flickered with soft blue light. Her skin was healing, but her soul carried centuries of war, loss, and betrayal. Riker walked in quietly, sitting across from her for a moment. They said nothing. Then Kylara spoke, voice soft. "We were raised to fear your people, to see humans as fire, wild and violent. But you were the first one who didn't burn me." Riker looked at her. "I was raised to kill your kind. I don't even know who I am anymore." She smiled gently. "You're the only human who asked why before pulling the trigger. That makes you dangerous and rare." Arrival on Europa. The ship entered Europa's orbit. Frozen mountains, cracked ice, silence. Lyra landed on a flat ridge. "That beacon better be here, or this is the coldest suicide mission in history." Kylara stepped out first. The cold didn't bother her. It felt like home. She led them to a small cave under the ice. Inside, a crystal console, glowing, humming with ancient energy. "This was our backup command hub," she said, "in case we ever lost the war." Riker watched the console come to life. "What does it say?" Kylara touched the crystal, and alien symbols lit up. "The vault is no longer locked. It is feeding. It has chosen Earth." Meanwhile, Earth burns back on Earth. Black clouds swirled over cities. Lightning storms with no thunder. Birds flew in circles, screaming. People stared at the sky, terrified. In the military base, General Harlan stared at the vault control screen. "Why is the signal growing?" he barked. A scientist replied, shaking. "It's not a signal, sir. It's a heartbeat." "One final choice." Kylara turned to Riker. "There's one way to stop it," she said. "I can shut it down from here, but I need to sync my body completely with the vault." Riker narrowed his eyes. "What happens if you do?" She looked away. "I won't survive." Riker grabbed her hand. "There must be another way." Kylara smiled softly, calmly. "You once asked me why I said I'd warm your bed back on the battlefield. It wasn't a trick. It was a message that I chose peace, that I chose you. The sacrifice." She stepped into the core chamber. Her body glowed. Alien code surrounded her. Her voice echoed in Riker's earpiece. "Tell your people we were never monsters. Tell them I forgave them." Then flash. The entire moon shook. In the sky above Earth, the dark cloud shattered like glass. The vault collapsed in on itself, screaming as it died. 1 year later, wide field flowers. Sky blue again. Children played near a memorial. A statue of Kylara stood tall, carved in white stone. At the base a line was written. "She came as a warrior. She left as a protector." Riker stood alone in front of it. A small girl ran up beside him. "Who was she?" "Uncle." Riker looked at the statue. "The bravest soul I ever knew." Final line voiceover style. "Sometimes, peace doesn't come from victory. It comes from understanding someone who was never supposed to be your friend, but became your salvation."